back to my channel. I don't really have any updates or anything. The only updates I really have is I'm moving within a week or so, and I guess I'm excited about that. I'm in this weird like transitional phase. You know how it is when you're like moving, you gotta pack up your house. It's just like everything's kind of put up and I feel a little out of place. But you know, when you're going through hard times, that's just the universe preparing you for more beautiful things. So I'm just trying to keep that in mind as I get out of this place. I really had a fun run with here because, you know, this is my dream apartment that I manifested. So I had a great run, but I'm ready to move. There's spiders coming in and stuff, and I don't like spiders. It's just not very tasteful. But, you know, my new apartment is bigger. It'd be more space for me as a here. This is a convertible. I actually have a bedroom door, which I'm excited about. I've been living in studios for quite some time now, and I'm just over it. I'm ready for a door. I'm ready to close the door, all that type of shit. Yeah. Well, on today's video, I'm gonna be talking about self-love. And it's crazy because I feel like this is the perfect video for today because as you see, my hair is not in braids. And if you know me, you know I love my braids. So this summer, I am thinking like my personal theme is self-love and showing up as my best self, my highest self for myself. And I feel like social media glamorizes everything related to self-love. But self-love is a lot harder and not as pretty as social media makes it. Like, it's very lonely. There's a lot of shadow work involved, crying, breaking down, and ego, surrendering and accepting. Like, none of that stuff is easy when you're so used to just moving how you move and moving off autopilot. And to just like pour back into yourself, it's hard because we aren't really taught self-love, and it could just be a really hard thing to do. So yeah, the self-love journey is pretty much showing up as yourself unapologetically and just loving the parts of you that you've worked so hard to hide and keep away from people. It's knowing that not everyone is gonna accept you the way you are, but at the end of the day, you are you, and you have to accept yourself as you are and love yourself as you are, because if you're not gonna love yourself, who else is gonna love you? They always say that you can't even love anyone else without loving yourself first, and I believe that sometimes this is true, but you can't fill yourself up with love from other people. You have to fill yourself up with love from you. And at the end of the day, like I always say, everything starts from within. Like, everything you ever needed and everything that we all seek is right inside us. So, I don't know, like I said, this is so ironic because I'm going through my own, every day is a self-love journey for me. But now that I'm just in this weird, like, transitional place, I just feel like I've been lacking hard on self-love. And I just think that's so crazy that I'm sitting here talking to other people about self-love when I've been struggling with it myself. But at the end of the day, everyone struggles. Not everyone, but at the end of the day, self-love is really one of the hardest things to do. I feel like self-love is very important because often we do show up for our friends, our family, we show up for our jobs, and pretty much all the other priorities in our life. But we don't show ourselves the same compassion. Like, with all these distractions, it's so easy to just get lost in the world of social media and TV. And it's just so easy to forget about yourself and what you need at the moment. It's important to listen to your body, your intuition, and just get lost in yourself. Get lost in the journey of loving yourself and discovering the layers of yourself. And that's one of the things I've been working on since spring started. Like I told y'all, my middle name used to be Brunch, but now that I don't go out as much anymore, I'm pretty much peeling back the layers and trying to discover who it is I really am. And I wrote out this summer list of stuff that I want to do, but I'm not gonna do it until I move because obviously, you know, My house is kind of messy. I don't want to start any new projects when I'm in this like transitional phase. But like, write out all the stuff that you want to do that you don't. Just pour out all the things that you hide about yourself, and just focus on uncovering those things, and focus on loving yourself deeper in those areas. So yes, it's important to listen to your body, listen to your intuition, and just give yourself what you need at any moment of the day. Example, if you're feeling exhausted from work, take a mental health day. Like, stop overexerting yourself. If you feel like no, say no. Stop forcing yourself to do things that you don't feel aligned with. That is a form of self-love. Showing up for yourself. We say yes to everyone else while we say no to ourselves. And we just gotta flip it. I'm not saying you gotta say no all the time, but when you feel no, say no. Self-love looks different on everyone. Like as I always say, do what feels best to you. Do what feels aligned with you and your world. Don't be out here trying to do what everybody else is doing on Instagram. Don't be out here trying to do what you think you need to do. Do what you want to do. You know, do what feels good to you. If it doesn't feel good, then don't do it. Like, it's simple as that. So for me, self-love looks like basically saying no when I feel no. That was a very hard one for me. I'm always saying yes. I like to do my nails, my toenails. That's a form of self-love for me. Pampering myself, making myself feel beautiful. I like to read books. I like to journal. I listen to podcasts when I'm feeling down. That's pouring back into myself. Feeding my mind with positive energy to keep going throughout the day. I try to romanticize my life by like buying myself flowers or treating myself every now and then. But y'all know me, I be getting out of hand with that. But romanticize your life, you know. Take yourself out on dates. Dress up even if you're not going anywhere. That type of shit. One thing I definitely do is I get a tattoo or piercing. That's one of my top ways of showing self-love. If I'm feeling some type of way, or if I just feel like I need some extra energy, I go get a piercing, because that's what makes me feel better. Something new that I just started working on is I make weekly lists, and those lists help keep my mind organized. It helps keep me basically sane, so I'm just not sitting around like bored, like what do I do? I have a list of stuff that I can do during the week and keep me on task. Another way that I practice self-love is by strengthening my boundaries. And that's something I want to get into a little deeper in a second. But strengthening my boundaries, definitely. I don't hang out when I don't want to hang out. I don't invite people over if I'm feeling exhausted or sad, because I need to spend that energy on myself. And one of the last ways that I practice self-love is by laying down. Like, if I'm just not feeling it, if I'm just like need to relax, I relax. If I need to take off work, I do that, because there's no point in overextending myself, because at the end of the day, I still have to show up for myself every day. So there's no reason to run myself into the ground. So if I feel like I need to lay down or take a step back from life, I do it. So the last little part that I want to talk about was the boundaries. So before, honestly, I think this year, 2022 was when I learned for the first time in my life to have boundaries. Like, I always felt like I didn't need boundaries. I'm okay with being around people 24/7. And honestly, it wasn't until this year that I realized that I really did need boundaries. And I was just so depleted from hanging out with people every day and always being up under someone. Like, don't get me wrong, I love to be up under my boo, but sometimes you need a break. Well, now I have breaks. What I'm saying, in the past, I did not give myself any boundaries. I did not take breaks from people. I found myself doing a lot of activities daily that I didn't really care doing. For example, like, I don't really care for watching TV. Like, I watch TV, but day in, every day, coming home, watching TV, sitting on the couch for 5+ hours watching TV, I hate that. And I was doing that mostly because I didn't have boundaries and I couldn't speak up for myself. Like, hey, this is not what I want to do today. Sorry, the dog biting my toes. Calm. So basically I wasn't speaking up for myself. Like, hey, this is not what I want to do. Hey, I need to relax today. You know, actually, I want to read a book. And like I said, instead, I was just going with the flow. And it's nothing wrong with going with the flow, but I was going with the flow, not down the current that I wanted to. The current was murky and dirty. And I was just sitting there like, woo, on my fucking raft, not giving a fuck. But this year, I started implementing boundaries, and it's really changed my life in a lot of good ways. I love spending time by myself. I love, like I said, reading, journaling, listening to podcasts. That's my me time, and that's the way that I'm able to pour back into myself. So don't be afraid to express your boundaries. Like, if it's something that you need or that you're not getting, let them know. Because at the end of the day, you're only torturing yourself. And that's what I didn't realize. Like, I was so scared to speak up for myself and what I wanted. And I was the one suffering at the end of the day. They weren't suffering, it was me. So, boundaries. Work on those boundaries. So, I don't know. This is my self-love talk. Again, I think it's so ironic how I've been feeling all weird and shit. Like, I just know that I need to love myself, and I just need to pour back into myself and listen to my body and give my body what I need. And so I'm just going to take my own advice, and I'm just going to stop being worried about what others think and, what others feel ultimately. But I just need to pour back into myself and feed myself the nourishment that I'm telling y'all need to feed y'allself with. So like I said, I don't know, the self-love journey is one of the hardest. No one teaches us all this extra shit. They teach us all that crap in school about math and shit that we never use, but they don't teach us real life lessons about how to control our emotions, how to love ourselves, how to clear our thoughts. And I feel like that shit is just as important as all the other stuff they be teaching us in school. So, I don't know. This is my TED Talk for today. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.